And record. We are going to be recording for anybody that misses this call. But before we get started, where are y'all from? Let me see. Let me see who we got on the call. Where y'all from? Anybody in Florida? We're with you right now. Normally I'm in Orlando, but I've been hanging out in New Orleans for a few weeks, working on some investments. But for anybody in Florida, definitely y'all stay safe out there. Reach out if you need anything. Right, we are definitely here for you, and want to make sure that you are all safe. Well, we got on the call. Where y'all from? Houston, Texas. Man, everybody just Texas. That's all we got. Oh, we got Tampa on the live. We got Roll Tide, Alabama, Orlando in the building, Boston. Okay, cool. So I'm streaming on multiple platforms right now. So Atlanta, Baton Rouge. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna dive into this thing. Not gonna take up too much of your time today, but at any point in time, if I say something that you don't quite understand, what I want you to do is either type your question in the chat or raise your hand. And when I finish talking about a certain topic, then I'll go ahead and let you all ask your questions, especially if you have your hand raised. All right, but I'm gonna go like topic to topic. So when I finish with a certain topic, then I might answer a few questions and then we might drive on. But I might just dive all the way through. So y'all just bear with me, try to write the question down so you don't forget it, but I will get to all the questions in this one sitting. All right, I won't put any of you off. I'll make sure to answer all the questions. So first things first, just want to let y'all know who I am. Like, why are you talking to this person right now? Who is he? I'm the tax deed wolf, and what I do is I specialize in tax deed investing. Now, using this method, it allowed me to do some crazy things that I never thought I'd be able to do before age 30. And I'm here because you all have the power to do the same things that I'm doing and better, right? Whatever it is you want to do in this world, you can do it. And that's why I call myself the wolf, because I'm going to do it by myself or I'm going to do it with others, right? We can grow together, but if I have to do it by myself, I'm going to get it done. That's just the type of person I am. And if you are that type of person, you know that you are going to be successful, you are on track to achieving success, then that's who we're here for. Like, we are definitely here for you. So if anybody is not already following me on social media, Tax Deed Wolf. If you haven't Googled us, Tax Deed Wolf, go ahead and Google us, see what we're about, and see what all the hype is about with these tax deed properties, because we're literally showing you how you can get property for as little as $3,000, $1,900, $100. Like, I mean, literally doing some crazy things, creating equity, and ultimately going to show you how you can become a millionaire, right? And it doesn't take that long. That's what's crazy about this stuff. It really does not take that long. Now, is it a get rich quick? Will you be just rich as crap tomorrow? No, that's not how this works. You are going to have to execute. You're going to have to stay plugged in. You're going to have to learn some things. You're going to have to implement and take action on a lot of things. Okay, so let's get that out of the way right now. If you want to just get rich tomorrow and you can't wait 6 months to execute, then you might as well leave right now. I don't care how much money you have, you can do this. Some of you may have $100 to your name. Some of you may have 3,000, 10,000. I don't care where you are. You can do this. We're going to be talking about how you can leverage credit to get into tax deed investing, to get into doing the Burr method, to get into multifamily, how to get private money, like literally everything. There's so many ways that you can do this that there's literally no excuses. All right, literally no excuses. So let's move on. I told y'all a little bit about who I am. I started off in the Army. That was like my first career choice. Joined pretty early in high school because I wanted to get my college paid for, right? I didn't have a rich dad, didn't have a rich mom or anything. How many people can relate? I want to see in the chat who can relate. You're kind of on your own. Just type it in the chat. I was on my own. If you're one of those people that you're kind of out here just figuring out life, you really didn't even have any guidance. Your parents didn't hand you $1 million and say, hey, go be great with this. All right, how many people just like kind of out there figuring it out for themselves as well? But to caveat on that, how many people out there know that you are going to get there and you're changing your family dynamic too? Like, you're going to be that go-to person in your family. Like, everybody's going to come to me with questions. I'm going to change the entire way my family operates. Okay, we got a lot of people on the IG live here. I love to see that. So just because you started out on your own, right? Just because you started out being dealt a pretty crappy hand, what I said, there is no excuses. The question that you need to ask yourself is, what are you gonna do about it? You're gonna hear me say that a lot. What are you gonna do about it? So for me, it was join the army, did a couple of tours, went to Afghanistan, did some fun stuff, jumped out of some helicopters and stuff, did a whole bunch of fun stuff, traveled the world. And then the army sent me to nursing school. After going to nursing school, I was still living life, making a decent amount of money. I was not able to do all the things that I wanted to do because I lacked time, right? And then fast forward, you see me here, I got my sign up here. I was investing in real estate, selling properties. And then you see us in articles now. If you go ahead and Google Tax Deed Wolf, you'll see a lot of these articles today, but this was like one of the first ones. But now you'll see so many. And now I just have time to, be in New Orleans for weeks, just waiting for the hurricane to pass in Florida before I go back, right? These are the things that I can do. And it's not just me, my entire family is here as well. I got my daughter here, my wife, and I want to show y'all how I was able to do these things because somebody on this call, you might be able to incorporate some of these same techniques into your life today, and it could ultimately change your life. So that's why we're here, and that's why we're gonna continue to be here. All right, so moving on, power is going to be key here. You need to understand that you have the power to do everything that you want to do, right? And we're going to get into this tax deed stuff, so bear with me. And at the end of this, we're going to talk about how you can actually take this to the next level, okay? But you have the power to do whatever it is that you want to do in this world. You have to understand that. Don't just say it. A lot of times we look in the mirror and we just like do our affirmations and we're just like saying it, not even really believing it, right? Just like, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm happy, just half-assing it. You need to really believe this stuff. Like, say it, think it, believe it, dream it, hang around it, right? That's key. You want to be a millionaire? Go hang around some millionaires. All right, stop just saying, oh, I want to be a millionaire. Go hang around some actual millionaires and go learn some things. So I like to talk about this because this is the definition of power is powerful, right? No pun intended. But I like the second definition over here: the capacity or ability to direct or influence the behavior of others or the course of events. Okay. And number one, the ability to do something or act in a particular way, especially as a faculty or quality. Okay. You literally have the power. Not only, it doesn't even affect yourself. Power is so strong that you can affect other people. All right, who believes this? I want to like type in the chat, I have power. If you believe that you literally have power, can you talk to someone and persuade them to give you what you want? Can you, when you find these tax deed properties, can you not approach the owner before the auction and talk to them and they'll give you a better deal than you taking your chance and bidding high in the auction? Who thinks they have the power to do things like this? You literally have the power of influence, okay? You have the power to create your own world, but you have the power to influence others and get what you want in this world. Do you know you can walk into a bank and walk out of the bank with money instead of just giving the bank money? Like, I literally want to see you type in the chat, I have power. You need to get on the other side of this field. Okay, you must do this. You got to get on the other side of the cash flow quadrant. You cannot stay an employee forever. I mean, you can if you want to. That's cool. I'm not knocking anybody, but you have to understand that there's a lot more out there. You can retire early. You do not have to wait till you're 70 to retire. You don't have to wait till you're 65. You can retire early if that's what you want. You have the power to do so, just like you had the power to get on this call and you are here. So the problem, let's talk about the problem real quick. The problem for me, and maybe a lot of people on this call, was I was working a lot of hours. I was a nurse. I was stuck at the hospital for 12 hours. And to be quite honest with you, it was probably like 14 hours by the time, like if you account the commute to work, like driving there and then giving report and then documentation. Holy crap, documentation. Does anybody have to document at their job? That's some crap. All right. That can be very timely. Documentation is timely. So then I was also salary capped, right? They told me I was worth only a certain amount of dollars an hour. That's what they said. Hey, you're worth about this much an hour. This is how much you're going to make. Now, Are you going to believe that? That's up to you, because you have the power to create your own salary. And I just told you that I didn't have enough time with my family because I was working a lot of hours. And then guess what? Higher cost of living. Did y'all see what inflation was? Did you get a high enough raise to even like combat the inflation? No, inflation went up like 7 to 10, what was it, 7 or 9% last year? Did you get enough? Did you get a raise that even helped out with that? No, a lot of people only get like a 50-cent raise, if that, a dollar raise, if that. That's not enough. Okay, a dollar raise is not enough to beat inflation. I'm sorry, that was not enough last year to beat inflation. So there's a lot of issues with working that traditional just 9 to 5, right? You need to have some other sources of income if you really want to break out of that cycle. So for me, and for a lot of you on this call, that solution is going to be real estate, more specifically tax deed investing. This is the most affordable real estate acquisition that there is. All right, tax sale investing is probably one of the most affordable ways that you will ever buy real estate. Shout out to D Patterson, man. You've been hyping me up. Let them know in the chat is if tax sale investing is one of the most affordable ways you're going to get real estate. I'm talking to somebody who got a property for $100 that was worth $213,000 right now. He's on the IG right now. But passive income, I got into tax deeds because it was the most affordable way. I was not a millionaire at the time, and I needed some passive income. So how was I going to do it? Well, tax deed investing was the way for me. I jumped in the game, and we're going to show you some of the properties that I got, but or at least the price points, but those are already sold. But this ultimately allowed me to create that time freedom. And then, man, started getting into using OPM. Are you kidding me? Using other people's money to buy property that's going to continue to make me money, and I just pay those people their money back. That's what we were doing. Y'all, that's what we're doing. And we're about to talk a little bit about how you're going to be able to do this stuff too. So the result for me was making an extra 100. For some of you, it's going to be like maybe $30,000 starting out to 100K. But eventually, when you start jumping into this, you can make over 6 figures. You can definitely make over 6 figures doing tax deeds. Generational knowledge. This is stuff that it not only affects me, but I'm passing this stuff down to my family members. I'm teaching my daughters about this stuff. And it's not just tax deeds, it's everything. The BRRRR strategy, that's a fix and flip method. That's awesome. Multifamily investing, getting apartment complexes now, right? Credit, y'all, credit is huge. You need to understand that game. And then more time freedom with my family and everything. Like we talked about like before, it's just been an awesome thing for me. Now let's jump into the class. Let's jump into the lesson here, because this is what you need to understand. Some of you has anybody on this call purchased a tax sale property already? I don't care if it was a lien, a deed, a redemption deed, a certificate, whatever. Has anybody on this call purchased a tax sale property already? Now I ask that because I want to know if anybody's familiar with what state they live in and what type of property it is. Okay, cool. We got Miss Turner, I believe. Yep. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So we have some investors on this call. And if we don't, we got one. Somebody said they still need the funds. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's something we'll definitely help you out with. So you have to understand the different types of tax sale investing. Now, there's a big misconception here. A lot of people think that there's only such thing as a tax deed. They think that, or a lien, I mean. They think that there's only such thing as a tax lien, right? They think that there's only such thing as a redemption deed, right? Anytime I'm talking about tax sale, people are like, oh, there's a waiting period. You have to wait 2 years and blah, blah, blah. They are absolutely not 100% incorrect, but they are just talking about a specific area and they don't know. Okay, so it's not that they're wrong, they're just inappropriate for what I'm talking about, because they just don't understand the whole picture. And this is where I come in. This is where the tax D Wolf is going to help you all today. There are different types. Every state is going to conduct a different type of sale. All right. Now, before we even get into this, what are tax deeds like? Why is this even a thing? So in the US, you have to pay your property taxes. All right. I don't care who you are. Well, unless you're exempt, right? You're 100% disabled veteran or something like that. Shout out to all my vets. But you have to pay your property taxes typically. If you do not pay your property taxes, your county is going to take your property and they're going to sell it at an auction. Okay. If you have a mortgage, I'm gonna just answer this question right now because it always comes up. If you have a mortgage, you have what's called an escrow. And in your escrow, you have your property taxes and your property insurance. So if you're paying your mortgage every month, you're paying your property taxes. Some people don't even know that. They're just like, oh, I'll pay my mortgage, but how do I pay my property taxes? Hey, look, you're already paying it. So don't worry about that. If the bank has if you have a mortgage and you don't pay your mortgage, well, guess what? The bank's gonna foreclose on your property. That's gonna go to foreclosure auction. Completely different from what I'm talking about. What we're talking about is not paying your property taxes. That's it. Now, this is usually people who own their property outright. You own the property, you have no mortgage. Usually, can properties still have a mortgage? Yes. But usually this is people who own their properties. So when the county's sending you this letter like, hey, look, you owe this much in property taxes and you do not pay, guess what? The county's going to take your property and they're going to sell it at an auction. Now, depending on what type of state you live in, is going to determine which type of sale is conducted in your state. All right. Now, do me a favor, for those of you who are on this live, share this with your friends. Share if you're watching the Zoom call, like literally just share the profile. Like, hey, look into this guy. We really need to start investing into this stuff. All right, there's a lot of properties. And when I start sharing my screen and showing you the type of properties that are out there, you're going to be like, holy crap, how have I been missing out on this all my life? All right, just because nobody told you, and that's fine. But depending on which state you live in is going to determine which type of sale is conducted. You're either going to have the tax deed sale, you're going to have the tax lien sale, or you're going to have the tax redemption deed sale. Now, there's a few others, but these are the main three that you're going to hear about. Now, I'm going to start, for the sake of this lesson, I'm going to start with the lien. Okay, so I'm going to pick on somebody. On this call. Let's say Alex. All right. So Alex has a property and she owes about $3,000 in taxes. She hasn't paid her taxes, right? So what the county's gonna do, they're gonna say, Alex, because Alex lives in a lien state, right? They're gonna say, Alex, you owe us $3,000. If you don't pay us this $3,000, it's been almost 2 years now. We're on year 2. If you don't pay us this $3,000, we're gonna sell this lien at an auction. All right. Now, when this lien sells at an auction, you're gonna have this amount of time to pay back this lien to keep your property. So Alex's property goes to a lien auction. I jump in there, and she only owes $3,000. Let's say I win that at $3,000 at 18%. So for Alex to keep her property, she has to pay me back now the $3,000 that I invested plus 18% of that to keep her property. Now, depending on which state she lives in, guess what? If she does not pay me back, I will get to either keep that property, right? Or I can force a public deed sale on that property, right? I want y'all to understand, not in every state, a lien doesn't just turn into a deed. Okay, so a state like Florida, for example, if I hold the lien, I have to force a public tax deed sale. And we're going to talk about that. But in some states, if you hold the lien, you are getting the deed, right? I love states like that. Just by being the lien holder, you're literally, you're going to get the deed. That's awesome. Those states are awesome. Okay. If you live in one of those states, like start clapping right now, you're going to be able to get property for probably less than $1,000. And I'm not joking right now. Now, the next thing is we're going to talk about tax redemption deeds. Okay. Now, redemption is still in the title, right? So when you come to this redemption deed auction, these are states like Georgia, Texas. Now, something to know about Georgia and Texas is their auctions are in person mostly. And it's the first Tuesday of every month, which means you can only go to one, right? You can only be in one auction unless you have some business partners going to some other counties. Because what did I say? These auctions are county specific. So these are all things that you need to know and understand about your state. And I'm going to talk to you, about how you can get started as well. We're giving it all today. Now, when you go to a tax redemption deed auction, it's highest bidder. If I like this property, let's pick on Alex again, because she's just the first person that's showing up on my screen here. When I go to this auction, let's say Alex didn't pay her property taxes. Let's say it's still $3,000. Now, the only difference is that when I come into this auction, it's going to be highest bidder, right? We're bidding $3,500, $4,000, $5,000. Okay, I win for $5,000. Now, there is a redemption period in here in which Alex can pay me back, right? It could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be wherever. Your state's going to determine how long the redemption period is. Okay, it could be shorter than that. Alex has a certain amount of time in which she can come pay me back with interest, same as a lien almost, with interest to keep her property. Now, the only difference here is in a redemption deed state, I know that if she doesn't pay me back, I'm getting the deed to that property, right? Remember what I said about liens? Nothing really says that a lien's going to turn into a deed in every state. Some states it will, but not in every state. But in a redemption deed auction, I know I'm going to get that deed, right? That it's just more understood that if she does not pay me back, I know I'm going to do whatever whatever the steps it takes for me to get that deed. I know I'm going to get it, basically. Now, let's jump up to the top. Tax deeds. Why is tax deeds number one for me? Because guess what? This lien period is already over. When I go to a tax deed auction, when you go to a tax deed auction and you win a property, that property is yours immediately. If I go to Florida online, duval.realtaxdeed.com to give you one. If I go there and I win this auction today, I make a payment, I wire that money, guess what? They're sending me the deed. It's mine. There's no 2-year waiting period. There's no 1-year waiting period. There's no 6-month waiting period. All right. Dump that crap from your brain right now. Whenever you hear someone say, oh, but there's a waiting period, you need to be questioning them. All right. There is not always a waiting period. You need to understand which state they're talking about, which county they're talking about, what process are they even speaking of? It's not all the same. And that's the most important thing that I want you to get out of this call. All right. Now, somebody put up in the chat, yes, New York is, North Carolina, sorry. North Carolina is a tax deed state. You have what's called the upset sale in North Carolina. Pennsylvania also has an upset sale. It's like 10 days typically in which someone can come outbid you. So this is where it's important to understand that everywhere is different. All right. Now, to give you an example of some of the things that you can do with tax deeds. When I first started in my career, I was a nurse and I had like $8,000 in my bank account. And I got 3 houses, right? I got 3 properties per se. So the first one I used my VA loan and I got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, for $0 out of my pocket. A 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I got the keys, negotiated the seller to pay closing costs and everything. Literally got a house for no money down. Now, the second property I got was a $1,900 lot. It was an empty lot. I got it for $1,900. The third lot that I got was $3,100. These were all in Florida. And guess how long it took me to get those? This was under 30 days, y'all, using less than $6,000, right? Less than $5,500. I had acquired 3 properties in under 30 days. All right. And if you read some of those articles, that's what you'll see that, it was like, holy crap, how do you do that? So it was the tax deeds. Now, what did I do with some of these properties? Here's one, $5,000 turned into $18,500. I started getting empty land and I was just selling it to builders. Do you know builders like land? Builders need land to build on, right? I was getting these properties, $5,000, selling it and making over $10,000 profit off each flip. Now, guess what? Some of the flips were even more. When I go to this next slide here, you'll see what one of my partners did. $15,000 turned into $130,000. And we just had Daryl on this call. He got one for $100. This was a lien that was worth $213,000. Y'all, this is without rehab. These are as is. When you go into these tax deed properties, you get these properties for so cheap sometimes that you'll almost not want to sleep because you think the government's going to come get you for like something you did wrong. Like, I'm not joking you. Go ahead and share this live with your business partner. Share this live. I want to see some fire signs for some of these flips. I'm telling you, you're going to be losing sleep because you think that the government's going to send the Navy SEALs to come get you because you swear that you're robbing the government. All right, I'm telling you, that's what it feels like sometimes. Like, holy crap, I literally one of the houses I got in Alabama for under $1,000, I'm still thinking that somebody's going to come shoot me over that. I'm not even joking you. Like, these things are so cheap. And it's crazy because when people see what you're doing, a lot of times, like when I talk about it, they're like, no, that's a scam. Wow, really? So the lack of knowledge just converts to scam, right? These days. So, yo, this is not a scam. If you know anybody that's doing tax deeds or has any little bit of knowledge about tax deeds, go ask them if you can get property for under $3,000. All right, it is by no means a scam. The scam is you not understanding that there's different types of sale and you just listening to your auntie say that, hey, you have to wait 2 years, so don't buy those. That is not true. Remember what I just said. There's so many different types of sales. You need to understand where you are. Now, the first things first is when you're going to jump into this real estate investing realm, there's a lot of things that you need to know. It's not just about going and acquiring property. When you acquire these properties, it's important to know that you want to protect your assets, right? Because your properties are everything to you. These are things that you want to pass down to the next generation and the next generation. But how are you going to do this if you're losing it all, right? Like you can literally get sued and lose everything by not being structured properly. So step one, what I want y'all to do is get a mentor. You should always have a mentor, and your mentor should have a mentor, right? You should, if your mentor does not have a mentor, you're both students. Get a mentor. You need to have someone to call. There's been plenty of times where I thought my back was against the wall, and I called my mentor, and he told me like 5 different strategies I could use to get around the situation I was in. All right, mentorship is going to be one of the most important things that you can have in your life. Now, next is going to be establish a business, right? Get business credit, get funding. Why do you need to establish a business? Well, one, you need the tax write-offs. Like you really need to, you need to be taking advantage of taxes. This is what the rich people do. You need a business and you need to be properly structured. Opening up an LLC, I'm sorry, no offense to anyone, but if you only just went and opened up an LLC, it's in your name, it's in your personal address, you are not properly structured. Okay, you're just still self-employed. You're still on the left side of the cash flow quadrant. Has anybody in here read Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki? Right, I actually met him. I met Robert. He's a cool guy. Now, you need to be on the right side of the cash flow quadrant. You do not want to be stuck on the left side. You're getting the people who make the least amount of money get taxed the most. Do y'all believe that? You believe that the people who make the least amount of money are actually getting taxed the most? I don't know if y'all believe me, but that's a pretty accurate statement. All right. Now, the reason being is because the rich people understand tax breaks. They understand how to maneuver, how to be properly structured, and really what to do when it comes down to taxes. Now, the other reason you need a business is because you need to understand how to get money, y'all. If you played the game of Monopoly, what's the first thing that has to happen after somebody's like, oh, you pick your character. All right, before you pick your little character, everybody's running for the little dog, right? What's the first thing that happens before you actually start the game? The bank gives out money. So why the heck are we trying to save our way to wealth? Why do we think we can just work for 60 years and just save all the money, then start buying homes? That's not how you want to play this game. You need to understand it and go ahead and go get that money from the bank and then start investing that money. All right. Get the money from the OPM. This is what real estate investors say. This is what we use, other people's money. All right. This is how our economy, this is how like everything works in the US. Okay. We borrow money for cheap. We buy money. I'm gonna say we borrow, right? We buy money for cheap because money costs money, right? If you any loan you get has what? Interest. Any loan that you get has interest. So money costs money. We want to buy cheap money, and then we want to use that cheap money to put it to work to make us more money. All right. I want to borrow $50,000 at a 3% interest rate. Well, I know I can take that $50,000, put it into tax deeds, and I can turn that $50,000 into $150,000. Bam, pay off this $50,000 early. I just made $100,000, right? Now take away that interest or whatever. I made close to $100,000. Is that not a cool way to make money? Using someone else's money? All right. Now, why do you want to put this in a business? Because your personal, like if anybody has a personal credit card here, you'll understand that utilization can definitely hurt your score. So if you have a personal credit card, $20,000, and you go max out that card, guess what's going to happen to your credit score? It's going to drop. So you want to keep your credit A1. Use a business credit card. Why? Because business is not showing up on your personal. You can go max out a business credit card all day. Who cares? Right? Pay the money back, of course, but I'm just saying that won't tank your personal credit score. You need to be putting things in your business. This is why you want to limit the liability upon yourself. You want to use other people's money. Now, can you use credit cards to buy tax deeds? Yes, you cannot go to the county and swipe the credit card, but there are creative ways for you to do this. One of the websites that we use, plastic.com, or plastic, some people call it, PALPLASTIQ.com. all right, plastic.com. You can literally swipe your card with plastic and they will wire the money over where it needs to go. They'll wire it to title. Okay, that's an awesome that's one play that I just gave you. There's thousands more. Stay tuned. All right. So when you get this money, you're properly structured. Guess what? I'm not even the business expert. We have a business expert team at our academy that we send our students to. You're going to get a 30-minute to an hour call with them. They're going to get your businesses all set up, get your businesses opened up in Haven states too at that. So now your name's not on the business. Your address is not on the business. You want to control everything and own nothing. You are the only person that has the documentation that shows that you own this business, right? Does that sound like anything to somebody? You may have heard of this term. It starts with a T. Might have heard of this term. I want to let your brain think of it. Trust. Okay, trust. That's going to be the best way to protect your asset. But if you don't have a trust, we use this method of forming businesses in Haven states to give ourselves an added layer of protection. Who's finding you? They're going to find that holding company or whatever in Wyoming. Wyoming's an awesome Haven state. Delaware is also a Haven state. We typically open up our businesses in Wyoming. Haven states give you anonymity. All right, your name, your address doesn't have to be on there. We hire a registered agent, pay a small monthly fee, and then voila. Okay, now what else do they have out there? There's virtual addresses that you can get. Opus is a good one. There are business phone numbers that you can get. Why do you want to do these things? Because you're going to get approved for the max amount of funding when you go apply. If someone, I don't know if I just seen Rebecca on this call. What's up, Rebecca? I don't know if you're still here, but if Rebecca went to go apply for a business line of credit and she's just, her personal address is the same as her business, and then she doesn't have a business number, could she possibly still get approved? Yeah, she could possibly still get approved, but she might get approved for $3,000 versus when I walk in, we could have almost the same credit score, but I'm just structured a little better. I could get approved for $20,000 and she only got approved for three. Okay, this is a simple fix right there that's going to help you get more money. My $20,000, I can do a lot more with versus $3,000. Now, what do you do if you don't have money? You need to understand you can go get private money. A lot of you, I'm telling you, if you take out your phones right now, if you're on the Zoom, take out your phone, go ahead and pull up your Instagram, do a little boomerang, and just put on an investment call with the Tax Deed Wolf. Do you know people will see what you're doing and they'll want to give you money to do it? Why do you think we made Wolfpack Capital? Right? Because other people want to give us their money so bad so we can invest for them and make them returns. Right? When people see what you're doing, this is what we call private money. There's people out there with so much money, they have no idea what to do with it. They can't even keep up. I'm telling you right now, there are individuals out there. Those are the individuals you need to surround yourself with. They have so much money that, hey, can I just give you $100,000? What can you do with this? Right? When you start staying connected around this, this growth, when you start staying connected around these type of investors, I'm telling you, they're the money that you're going to need. They're the private money. Private money can come from a bank account, but guess what they also have? IRAs, right? 401ks. Do you know that you can do a self-directed IRA? Right? I invest my self-directed IRA into multifamily apartment complexes. When other people are looking at their retirement account and they see that the stock market just crashed, I'm looking at mine like, well, my asset's still performing. I'm good. Okay, these are things that you want to know. And that's why it's important to have a mentor. Our mentor is going to show you these things. Now, when we're going to jump back into this tax deed thing a tad bit here, but I got a couple more things to talk about. When you go to the tax deed auctions, right, we talked about highest bidder. So we want you to do your research. The research, the due diligence is super important. It's the most important part of this game. And we want you to ultimately acquire property. But if you can, it's best to acquire the properties before auction. Okay, we're always talking about win auctions. But guess what? You want to win deals. You want to lock up deals and solidify them before the auction. You don't always want to have to go and literally just try to be bidding against these people. Some of these individuals have like hedge funds and stuff. You know what I mean? They got just a crap ton of money to work with. They might outbid you, but guess what? They might not have the time to go build the relationships like you are. To give you an example, we have relationships in Texas and Alabama to where we can go get properties like clockwork. If I call up my relationship in Texas, I can go get a house right now, probably for less than $20,000, a house that's worth over 150K. Now, will the owner have a little redemption period? Yeah, because we get to see the list before they're even public. All right, this is why relationships are important. I get to see the list before they even become public, before all you other little sharks, for all you other little investors go out there and try to get at these property owners. We have already negotiated deals with them. All right, that's one of the keys to having relationships. The banking relationships, that's a big one. I can text, I can literally call my banking manager right now. I can call them. Hey, the line's long, I need this. Can I just stop by and pick it up? That banking relationships is huge. Hey, I need some money. We're trying to close on this deal. We just need this amount of money. Can you hook us up? Do y'all believe that? Y'all, some life changing stuff that I'm talking about. I know it's a little bit next level for some people on this call, but I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. For anybody on this live, you just know that you can go to my story, click on that link, and you can join the Zoom. All right, it's on my story. You can go click on the link and you can register real quick and hop in the Zoom so you can see my screen. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a second here because we're gonna talk about how you can actually go into the auctions right now, how you can get your list and everything. The first things first, you are going to want to go to your county clerk of court. County clerk of court. Write that down. That's going to be the meat and potatoes of what you need, your county clerk of court. All right. Now, I'm going to pull up my screen here in a second. I'm going to show y'all exactly what I'm talking about. All right, cool. Shout out to Melissa. She's got her camera on. She's not scared to show her face. Everybody else hiding. I don't know what's going on. Y'all hiding for some reason. It's okay. You know, y'all didn't get to put your makeup on. You don't have your chain on right now. It's okay. Show your face. Dang. But your county clerk of court. So we talked about knowing what state you're in. The next step is going to be figuring out how to get that list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Google. Hopefully y'all can see my screen, but we're going to go to Duval County Clerk of Court. Bam, y'all are watching me. I'm literally doing this stuff real time. So, okay, I found my county clerk of court website. Duval County, for those of you who don't know, that's Jacksonville, Florida. Might sound a little bit more familiar to you. So I'm going to click on this link and then bam, I'm on the county clerk of court website. Now, wherever you live, I want you to try to find this in your area, but for now, you can just write this down, county clerk of court. Now, after going to the county clerk of court, you see that there's a whole lot of stuff going on here, right? Do I need all this? No, this is all filler. Unless you're trying to go get married right now. Shout out to you. Or divorce. Look, married, divorce right here. Child support. It's all in order. You get married, you get divorced, and then child support. All in order right there for you. But this is not what you want, right? You want to get to the tax deed. You want the properties. So when some of you might live up north, some of you might live in the south, right? We all live in different states. So you're going to either look for tax sale, you're going to look for tax deed sales, tax liens, tax foreclosure, sheriff sale, scavenger sale. There's so many different names that this could be called. Adjudicated properties, right? There's just so many different things, right? Now, when I come to this list, I'm going to look at departments and okay, bam, I found it. Tax deeds. This is what I'm going to click on. But let's say I couldn't find it. I'm going to go down here to contact us and I'm going to start calling people and harassing somebody. Somebody at that county clerk house is talking to the tax deed wolf today because I got questions. I cannot find out what the heck I'm like, where I need to go. So bam, but I know where I'm going. Tax deeds. I clicked on tax deeds. Guess what? All the information is right here pretty much on what you need to do, how much money you need to deposit and blah, 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 right? All the steps are right here for you. Redemption, you know, if there is a redemption, there's no redemption here. But this is what you need, right? There's a list of lands available, blah, blah, blah. But what do I really need to be concerned with here? I need to know who conducts the sale. That's what I want to know. Who conducts the sales? Tax deed sales are conducted monthly. That's important to know. Some of you only have yearly sales in your area, right? You might only have a sale once a year, once a month, every week, all over the place, right? Except for November and December. I'm going to click on duval.realtaxdeed.com. Bam. Look at that. I just made it to Duval County Tax Deed website. Now, the cool thing about Florida, this is Florida, right? I can hit this jump to section down here on the left. I got Arizona, I got Colorado, I got Florida. Florida has 67 counties for those of you who don't know. So look at all these opportunities I have to invest in property in Florida, right? Now, let's say I could jump into Duval County right now. I can literally log in. If you haven't logged in, you can register, just create an account. You don't need any real estate license or anything to go ahead and register. You don't need nothing, right? You can register. There was just an auction a couple of weeks ago, 70 properties auction. I can go to October 12th, 81 properties. Look at this, 81 properties here, 81 properties. Now, this is where the due diligence comes in, because I know that the assessed value on these properties means crap to me, right? It doesn't mean anything to me. Now, talking about how to do comps, that's going to be a completely different class in itself. But look at these opportunities. These houses, this house is probably worth over 100K. If I put it in Google right now, I can almost guarantee it's probably worth over 100K, maybe 80 to 100K. But opening bid's only 5,000. All right, these are some important things to know. I'll approach these property owners. Look at this one, assessed value 113,000. I know it's worth more than that. Opening bid's only 8,000. If you don't have the money, guess what? I just told you how you can get the money, right? In our academy, we have our own private money. Okay, we have students in there with hundreds of $1,000s that don't have time because they're still working, and they will literally, if you're in a certain program, we literally fund our own bills in there, right? Our students are funding each other. Hey, I found this duplex, well, triplex. It's this much. I only have 20,000. Who wants to come in with me? Bam, we just created a JV partnership, right? We are doing things like that within the academy. We have our own private money. We have our own hard money, conventional, everything. Whatever you need, we have in our academy. You need life insurance, we have that too, right? All our own lenders, everything's within our academy. And that's what's so awesome about us. It's an all-in-one. You're not just learning tax deeds. There's more than tax deeds. Fix and flips, multifamily, the BRRRR, subject to lease options, right? Depending on what you find, we're gonna have to talk you through a different type of strategy. There's not just one strategy. It's what's in front of you today and how are you going to solve it? That's how life is. What obstacle just came in front of you and how are you going to get through it? That's life. There's no one right answer. You go to school, you take these tests, and there's always just one right answer. It's A, B, C, or D. That is not how life works. And what that does is it creates a lot of individuals with analysis paralysis. You have so much information, you just stop. You don't do anything. You have so much information that you just kind of stop. And then we're all looked at as lazy. We're not lazy. We just have absolutely no freaking idea where to start. And that's why mentorship is important. But then they also teach you to be scared of money. So then people are scared of money, scared to spend money because they value it so much. Money shouldn't be as valuable as people make it. All right. It's a piece of paper. It's a tool. You need to use money just like you use a hammer. Your money should be making you money. I'm going to invest $3,000 into this to know that I'm going to make an infinite amount of money back, probably $30,000 to $100,000 in the first year. Okay. That's how you need to think about money. It's an investment. It's growing. You need to grow it. Use it to make more. Don't trade your time for money. Trade your money for money. All right. This is how you do it. So we're in Jacksonville County. I mean, Duval County, and we're looking at these properties. There's some good properties in here, right? And this is important to know because you have opportunities. So this is Duval County, and just to give you a little glimpse of some of the opportunities you have. Lee County, we've done a lot of flips down in Lee County. Let's go to next month. I'll auction every single Tuesday. Wow, 53 properties, 52 properties, 19, 25, and then November every Tuesday still. That's a lot of properties, y'all. A lot of properties. And look at how cheap some of them is. Oh my goodness. This is amazing. Now we're gonna go to Maryland or Baltimore County because this auction is coming up on October 13th. But guess what? It's too late for you to register. This is another reason why it's so important to stay connected, because I told all my students to register already when the deadline, before the deadline was the 16th. All right, that was the deadline. I told all my students to register. Why? Because look at this list of properties, 25 pages. Amount due, 1,600, value, 88,000, 42,000. Look at how $400 these lien amounts, assessed over $25,000. All right, these are 25 pages. I'm gonna keep scrolling. This is what we call opportunity. Now stands for no opportunity wasted. Opportunity for days. All right, this is why we invest in tax deeds, because these properties, this $4,000 lien, the house is worth probably over 200K. It says 194,000, but it's probably higher than that. Okay, that is some freaking opportunity for you. I don't know if you were already aware of how much opportunity was out there and how much you were missing out on, but you could literally, for somebody who only has $300 in their bank account right now, could ask their mom to, hey mom, can I have $2,000 so I can go get a tax lien? And this property is worth $245,000. I'll literally give you 25% after I sell the property when I get it. Right? You don't think you can do that? I did it. You can borrow money, especially if they know what it's going for, but you have to have the knowledge to be able to make the money, make more money. You can't be borrowing money and then going and lose it all because you have no idea what you're doing. Okay, this is where it's key to really know and understand what you're doing. Now, I'm gonna stop sharing here. We've been going for a little over almost an hour already, and I don't want to take up too many people's time, but for anyone who really wants to learn a little bit more about this stuff, we have a 2-day challenge. Well, yeah, we have a 2-day challenge coming up. It's going to be, I believe, October 10th and 11th. So what we like to do is we talk about, the tax deeds. We're showing you how to get into the auction, and then we're showing you how to do the due diligence, right? That's the most important part. We show you how to do that. And then what we do is, after teaching you the due diligence, we are then going to, like, literally, we're going to be in a live auction on day 2. So we're going to be in a live auction showing you how to participate in the auction and everything. So it's a 2-day challenge. It's less than $300, I believe, to join. Super affordable. Especially for those of you that really want to dive into this thing and learn the due diligence, because what we didn't talk about is some of these properties could cost you more than what it costs to acquire them, right? They could have liens on them. You need to know how to find the liens. They could be not like, you could have a hard time selling them, right? Because you just got a crappy one, it's landlocked or something like that. You didn't check the zoning, you don't know what you can build on these. Some people just have a hard time selling property in general. They don't know where to list it. They don't know anything about selling. They don't understand like creative, like, hey, I can sell or finance this, right? I just want this amount down and then I'll become the bank. You pay me a mortgage, right? These are some cool things, y'all. There's a lot of different things you can do with tax deeds, how to rehab, how to take equity, how to convert them and then turn, have a short-term rental. These are all things that we teach. We teach Airbnb, all that, right? Because this is just a complete 180. All right. This is not just, hey, I'm gonna go buy a few tax deeds and that's it. No, you're turning into a real estate investor. All right. To be completely honest with you, you need to do a complete mindset shift, and you need to have an investor mindset. And that's what we're going to show you how to do. So for anybody that doesn't know already, of course, we own Tax Deed Wolf Academy. That's one of our businesses. Yeah, we have Wolfpack Capital. We buy tax deeds, but we also buy multifamily, so 10 plus units. But in the academy, we have a live class every Wednesday. Sometimes we have guest speakers, because I'm not the master of everything, right? I'm super transparent. I specialize in tax deeds, but when it comes to wholesaling, Airbnb, multifamily, some of these other techniques that you might hear of, we get guest speakers to come teach you that stuff. All right, so we're well connected. We get guest speakers to come teach you that. When you join the academy, we'll get you with our business team. They're going to do a 30-minute to an hour call with you, get your business properly structured, get you set up with a business in a haven state so you're at least protected. And then, we're teaching you all these other things that have to do with business, strategic tax filing, everything. And then once you get to the investing part, we're showing you how to do tax deeds, how to do tax liens, right? How to do the multifamily, the BRRRR. We're hooking you up with all of our private money lenders and everything. We even have them come speak. We have our own title company. When you get the tax deed property, you do not have to do a quiet title. You don't have to pay an attorney $2,000, $3,000 and wait 2, 3 to 6 months to get that deed in your name. There's other strategies, right? We have ours cleared within 10 to 14 days, and we're selling our tax deed properties. A lot of people are like, how the heck are you doing that? Well, that's just because we have relationships and we know things, and we don't just take an answer that we get from the first person that we ask. All right, you don't always have to do a quiet title. I've done one quiet title. And when you understand the quiet title process, y'all, this is a process in which when you win the deed, it only shows who owns the land, right? Deed shows ownership of land. So it's important to know how to get the actual title in your name, right? You need to get the title in your name. So there's a few processes that you go through to get the title in your name. Now, in some cases, like if you go to civicsource.com, you're getting adjudicated properties from Louisiana. Civic Source actually gives you clear title. But if you're going to other websites and participating directly with the county, you're not getting a clear title. And actually, the tax sale clouds the title every time, right? So the tax sale is going to cloud the title. So then you need to clear the title. The first step in a quiet title process is they're going to reach out to the previous owner to see if they can sign over the quick claim deed anyway. So we know, hey, I'm gonna just go to the previous owner, offer him $500, save myself $2,000, and get that quick claim deed signed. We take the properties before the auction anyway. So if we can get it before auction, now we don't have to worry about the tax sale clouding the title anyway. So we're saving thousands of dollars just using that method alone. So that's big, that's important to know. So just a whole bunch of different things. With our online course, of course, you get the online course, but then you have access to class every Wednesday. So we have the step-by-step modules, the guides, the documentation you need, these quick claim deeds and crap that I'm talking about. We provide all that for you, okay? Softwares, breaking down how to do this, how to do that. We have wholesale contracts and stuff, so you can understand wholesaling. You're learning all this, and you're talking to us every week. So on Wednesday, we have class. On Thursdays, we have a class. And then on Fridays, we have Q&A. So you have a lot of access to us. You also get access to the private group chat. So you can ask your questions in there. Just an awesome, really awesome thing that we have going on in the Academy. I think it's really big that we have our own network of private money and stuff like that. So we're showing you how to find deals passively and active, right? We have deals falling on our laps. The one thing I told y'all to do earlier, do the Instagram story, like on an investment call with the tax D Wolf. I'm telling you, let them like use our credibility. We've worked really hard to establish this credibility. They Googled the tax D Wolf and they're like, holy crap, this guy's doing what? And you're working with him, like, hey, I have some money in my bank account. Can I give you this money? Right? We'll show you how to take the money. You don't just take the money. We'll show you there's different strategies on, partnerships. You can JV partner. You can start a business together. You could do a promissory note to just take an investment and then pay out returns. There's so many different ways that you can take money, right? And these are important things to understand. Like, I really want y'all to understand that. So what I am going to do is I want you all to, if you're interested in the 2-day challenge or becoming a member, right? The 2-day challenge is just 2 days. You're gonna get 2 days of us just like showing you some stuff. You're probably gonna need more than that, right? If you really want to dive into this thing, you're probably gonna need more than just the 2-day challenge. But some people may only have like $300, $400 to their name right now. So we wanted to make this affordable for them to still get some knowledge so they can learn, what they need to do with their credit, how you're going to get access to some more lines of credit. So then you can go invest in tax deeds, right? That's step one for everyone in our academy. You need to understand how to get more money, right? How to get other people's money. So we get you working on your credit first, and then we get you on a call with our funding team. They're going to get you access to, hopefully $50,000 to $100,000. So then you can have some money to go ahead and invest with. I'm not going to say play around with, like, you really need to be serious about what you're doing with that money. Don't go take it and buy a brand new Beamer, right? Don't go do that with it. Like, go put it into something that's going to make you money. You have to understand money. So that's literally the first thing that we do. Some students come in, they already have like 10K, 20K. That's easy. We're going to show you what to do with that. Some students come in with $100,000. Typically, those are the ones that are getting the one-on-one mentorship from us, but there's just so many different packages. So what I want y'all to do is, if you're on this IG, just go ahead and send me your phone number. Literally just text me your phone number and what's a good time to call. For anybody else, we're gonna be emailing out we're gonna send you an email. So if you register for this call, you're gonna get an email from us. We're gonna send you out an email where you can either book a phone call or just jump into the academy, because we have a call tonight, we have a call tomorrow. Some of you are just ready to get started. That's completely fine. So we're gonna shoot you out an email to book a call. That's probably gonna be the most important thing. We need to know what state you live in and everything. You might want to join to buy only tax deeds. You hate tax liens, you only want tax deeds, but you live in a tax lien state, right? So we need to understand that first. We need to understand what your strategy is going to be, and if we can even help you. Some of you might, oh, I just want to open up this business. Well, look, we don't really do this, right? We need to understand what your goal is and if we can even help you. So we want you to book a call. So we're going to send that email out to you all today. Like literally expect that email within the next 20 minutes. And I'll see you all at the top. But first, I did promise that I was going to stay here and answer some questions. David said, oh, wait, I think I skipped a few questions here. Somebody said, I really want to start buying properties in the auction, but I need funds. Because of that, I can't do anything. I need your help. So what I want you to do is definitely, how do you have any access to me? Like, are you following me on Instagram? Send me your phone number. Excuse me, send me your phone number. Anybody else on this Instagram call, go ahead and just send me your number. If you want to get on a call, figure out how you can get started. Like, don't waste our time either. You don't give us your phone number and we get you on the phone and you have no type of mindset to grow. Like, this is for individuals that really want to grow. Don't get on that phone call and just completely waste my time or my team's time. Like, if you have some money to invest, if you don't, like, if you only have like $1,000, that's fine. We can show you what to do with your credit at least, but don't get on that phone call if you're not ready to take this serious and you're not ready to like really start maneuvering through this game. But Melissa, send us your phone number and we'll definitely get you on a call. Do you have just a due diligence class? So the due diligence we go over in the 2-day challenge. So that's probably going to be the closest thing to just a due diligence class, unless it's on our weekly calls. So when we come in on Wednesdays, we do, we go over various things. There's changes, there's better software that comes out. Things change all the time. Like, hey, this site, Landglide's not showing us this anymore. So now we're going to use this. There's always updates and changes. So if you really want to take this serious, I definitely get connected with some sort of team or something if you don't already have that. Landlocked, pretty much your land is surrounded by just a whole bunch of land with no access. All right. You typically want to buy property that at least has an access road to it, right? The best pieces of land to buy if you're going for just empty land parcels, best ones to buy are those that are already in neighborhood with houses built, right? Already developed neighborhoods. So if you get just an empty lot and there's only like 3 empty lots in that neighborhood, I'll tell you right now, that lot's going to be worth some money. If it's a neighborhood, only 3 houses and like 20 land parcels, then it might not be worth the most, right? So these are things you want to understand, but you don't want to get a piece of land and it's just surrounded by a whole bunch of land and swamp and water, wetlands. That's what you don't want to buy. All right. Good question. If you buy a property, example, duplex, can you keep it as an investment property or the goal is to always flip it? That is a really good question, Shayla. If you want to build wealth, you're going to hold on to these properties. Now, what people don't understand is a lot of people won't tell you is you can take the equity, right? Prime example, the house I'm down here in New Orleans messing with, I bought it and we rehabbed it and it created a large equity gap for us, like almost $200,000 in equity. I'm gonna still keep the house and we're gonna do short-term rentals with it, but I'm cash out refinancing. I'm taking all that equity tax-free, right? What else do you have? You have home HELOCs, you have home equity lines of credit. Credit's better because credit's cheaper. Okay, depending on how you're taking the money, it could be taxed very aggressively depending on how you're taking that money out. But guess what? Credit's not taxed. So lines of credit are typically awesome ways to go. But we're gonna cash out, refinance, and get all that equity, Shayla. And now I have wealth that I can still pass on to my children. The loan is gonna continue to get paid and it's gonna drop, but the value of the home is gonna continue to appreciate and go up. It's the ultimate investment. Okay, just because I took the equity out now doesn't mean that it won't have more equity later. Did y'all see what the market just did year over year for the past couple of years? I'm talking 20% every year it went up. So if you just bought a house in 2019, the house could be worse today and you probably still have at least 50,000 in equity. Now, of course, that varies by state, but you got to know this market. These are things that we're going to teach you how to look for. Shane, you got, oh, well, Melissa, reach out to us. I thought your name looked familiar. So, Shane, I'm gonna try to take your number after this call. but definitely reach out to us. If you have, just send us your number on Instagram, whatever. Do all states require title insurance? So that's kind of gonna be dependent on you, but selling properties through title is the most preferred way to sell a property, because it's just going to give, the seller and the buyer the most protection. Title companies checking to make sure there's no liens and stuff, making sure you are even the owner and you have the right to sell this property. It's going to just give the seller the buyer more assurance, right? That it's all going well. You don't have to sell via title companies, right? And then some states use attorneys, some states use title companies. So that's important to note. But there are other ways to sell property. You don't always have to go through title, but it's preferred. It is the most preferred. So if I'm just getting a lot and then selling it, I don't even need a clear title always. I can just quick claim deed it over to someone else. Not preferred method, once again, but that is a method. How do you find out which states are tax lien or tax deeds, etc.? So that's a good question, Holly. That's a good Google question, but we do have a website. One of these, what's his name? Ted. Ted has an awesome website that it literally kind of breaks it down for you. So I'll post that in the chat for you real quick, so you can check that out. Post that for everyone. So Ted Thomas, on his website, there's like a little breakdown of the states. I also have it in my ebook, a different breakdown, I believe. But yeah, this is an awesome tool for you to figure that out. But guess what? Don't go off of that like always, because it might say that it's a lien state, but there are deed processes. So like Louisiana is a lien state, but there's adjudicated properties, and you can go get deeds right now free and clear on civicsource.com. Okay, so don't ever just take one thing that you hear as like, oh, that's it. Okay. Mortgages transfer with homes in Texas, correct? How do you go about searching these? So this is going to be part of some due diligence. A lot of times, Megan, the mortgages will, most of the time, the tax deed sale will cancel the mortgage. If there's a mortgage, it's on that bank, the bank should foreclose. If the bank does not foreclose, then they're basically saying they don't care about that property. All right. So if the bank lets that go to tax deed auction, that's on them, because that mortgage is typically going to be canceled. Do I have to show up to auctions? I called one county and they said I have to be there. Yes, Alex, some counties have in-person auctions. Most, I won't say most or anything, because it just really depends. But like most of Florida counties are online, right? Alabama, we do a lot of Alabama online. Texas and Georgia in person. So really just depends on where you're going. All right, it really just depends on where you're going to be investing at. So if you want convenience and you want to just purchase online, then typically places like Florida with the online auctions, that's going to be the best. You don't have to live in Florida to purchase property in Florida, right? You just need internet. So that's a really cool thing. So these are all the things that we're literally showing you. We do this every single day. I'm meeting up with an attorney, linking up with an attorney down here that runs the adjudicated properties for a couple of parishes, actually. So that's going to get us some more deals lined up. Also, some off-market deals. These are, relationship building is everything. So I share with my students like our banking relationships and everything, especially when they live close. Pair them up with our business relations managers to go open up bank accounts and all types of cool things. Do all types of tax situations go to auction? There's some over-the-counter things that you can get into, Holly. That's a good question too. Sometimes you will see over-the-counter, right? So that's an option for you, but it depends on where you're gonna be, because some over-the-counters, like in Florida, for example, anything that makes it over-the-counter, it didn't sell in the auction. And typically, if it's a highest bidder auction and no one bid, why the heck did nobody bid on it, right? It could be crap. So your due diligence is definitely going to be important when it comes to over the counter as well. But most tax things will go to auction. If they don't, or they don't sell, then you might see a over the counter list. Sometimes there will just be a list. It just depends on which state, which county we're talking about. Redeemable deed is almost like a lien, Latanya, almost like a lien, which means there's a redemption period, a waiting period. The only difference between a lien and a redeemable deed, I would say, is that with a redemption deed, it's more understood that you're going to get the deed. With liens, it's not an understood thing that you're going to get a deed just because you hold the lien. The only thing that's guaranteed with both of these is interest on your money. All right. In some lien states, they will turn into deeds, but in an actual redemption deed state, we know that if that owner does not pay with interest, we're getting that deed. All right. Alex said, how much is mentorship? So that's going to depend on which program is right for you. There's some people that want one-on-one mentorship from me, and it's just like me working with them one-on-one. That ain't cheap. If I'm going to show you how to make, 6 figures from just one deal type of stuff, that's definitely not cheap. So you want to become a millionaire, that's for you. That one-on-one mentorship, that's 15,000 right now. But you might want to just come in for our course, right? Our course is only 3,000 right now, lifetime. So $3,000, we're going to show you how to get $50,000 to $100,000 and then start investing with that. Definitely only $3,000, right? People keep telling me we need to go up on a price, but no, we want to make sure it's affordable, right? That's an easy mindset barrier to break. $3,000 so I can learn how to make 6 figures from investing, 6 figures plus. Heck yeah, it's worth it. During redemption, do you have access to the property? So no, you typically won't have access to the property unless, like, if it's a vacant property and the door's open, you want to go there, look at it, that's kind of up to you, but technically you don't own it until you own it. All right, until you have that deed, that's when you actually own it. How does the negotiating with the owner work? Example, please. Oh, Holly getting all her questions out. Holly's getting all her questions out. Alabama is a lien state, but the liens could be expired or you can still get deeds in Alabama. That's what they don't tell you. Just because a state's a lien state doesn't mean that, hey, the lien period didn't start 2 years ago. Now you only have to wait 1 year. Or the lien could be expiring in 3 months and it's about to turn into a deed. So that's what a lot of people don't know too. I'm giving y'all a lot of game today. How does negotiation with the owner work? So let's say, Holly, you have a property and it's coming up for tax sale. Let's say like next month, your property is about to be auctioned off. It depends on, of course, what the value of the property is going to be. Let's say it's worth $100,000. I'm going to go approach you, Holly. And if you live close to me, I'm gonna go knock on your door, right? Because I'm using all the softwares that I have to, find your address. In LandGlide, it'll show you where the owner lives, right? That app is like $10 a month. So you can go to LandGlide, some other sites we use to get info. PropStream, LandGlide. We use our tax sale software. That's a good one. That helps us search the tax sale properties in the entire US, and we can just like narrow down to the actual properties we want. So we're not looking through thousands of properties. Helps us skip trace really well. What other apps? You can, there's other apps where you can find their phone number, True People Search, Batch Leads. There's just there's so much info. Like, it would be a disservice to you to just sit here and tell you something so you can go try to do it yourself and then you lose money. That's why there's a blueprint. There is a step-by-step guide. Like, it's a this. All right. It's super important that you get mentorship. You go try to YouTube and Google University your way through this stuff. You're going to get burned. Like, just go ahead and get experienced people that have probably already been burned a few times so they can tell you exactly how not to get burned. So I'm gonna approach you, Holly. Where'd that question go? Okay, here it is. So I'm gonna approach you, Holly. Hey, Holly, I seen that your property's coming up in the next tax deed sale next month, and I just want to know if I can help you out. And you're gonna be like, what? What do you mean help me out? Well, what can I give you $20,000 for this property? Like, will that help you maybe go get, put a down payment on another house, or maybe get you into, an apartment, another home, fix your credit, get your credit back right? Like, will that help you out? Well, Holly might be like, shoot, Holly may have never seen $20,000 in her bank account before, right? So Holly's going to say, you know what? Heck yeah, right? Or Holly might know a thing or two and be like, yeah, this house is worth 100,000. Worst I could do this for is 40, right? So we can negotiate. Of course, we can negotiate. But if the house is worth 100, we typically try to get homes for 60% under market value. So if the house is worth 100K, I'm trying to spend under 40,000 for it. All right, the lowest, the better. Now in some places I might spend more depending on, if I'm really gonna make money off this property, how much rehab is gonna be and stuff like that, right? There's other things that goes into that, the structure, how well, how the condition of the asset, I mean, right? But I'm gonna just go negotiate, try to get a deal done with Holly. If she agrees to 20,000, then what I'm gonna do for speed typically is I'm just gonna get the deed in my name. We're gonna do a quick claim deed and just get that signed over. And then after I have that deed in my name, I'll just go pay the back taxes for Holly, right? Well, for me, because the deed's in my name now, just gonna go pay the back taxes, get the property removed from the auction list, and then I'll just turn in the quick claim deed showing that I'm the new owner. Voila! Now that property is mine. That's how I would. That's how we do that, Holly, in a nutshell. Yeah, Alabama lien state. Texas is redemption deed based off the site you posted. So Texas, you don't have a guarantee to get to deed. Yes, it's a redemption deed, which means that there's just a redemption period. So if you win the auction, Latanya, there's gonna be, depending on what type of property it is, like if it's homestead or not, but you might have 6 months, you might have a year, 2 years, or whatever. Depending on what that redemption period is, that's how long the property owner has to pay you, Latanya. They have to pay you back this plus interest. And the interest in Texas is like really great. Are you talking like 30% interest? So they have to pay you back with interest to keep their property. If they don't, Latanya, then you're gonna get that deed. All right. So that's the big difference there. Where did you go on Duval Clerk, of course, to see the properties? That was the tax deeds, the tax deed section. So the tax deed section showed us that. Here, I'll pull it up. Ew, where'd it go? I'm all over the place. So we go to Google, you Duval County Clerk of Court, right? And then you go to the Clerk of Court website, and then it was in departments. So departments, and then tax deeds, and then bam. All right. I can't stress this enough though. If you go try to do this stuff on your own and you fail miserably, that's on you. All right. I highly advise at least jumping into this 2-day challenge so you can get ahead of the game. Now, what we're going to do here is thank you everybody for joining this live. This was awesome. I'll hang around for the people on the call to answer a couple of more questions, but I'm going to end this live. DM me if you want more info. Send us your phone number if you want to get on a call, and we'll get you squared away. For everybody else on here, though, let me